Hello everyone, this is my A3 run with 4 stars only and no buffs. Mostly because I didn't know where the buffs were when I played this on CN. I tried it a bit on the end, but I couldn't find a way to efficiently reduce the operator count. I can probably lower it to 12 or 11, but it's the same strategy, so it's not interesting enough to do. We have the boss eat May and just leave her there, we'll get her back later. We need to deploy 2 medics ASAP, so that the next deploy, Bubu can get the chain and tank it. In this position, Haze will break the chain. And we also stall the boss with Quoro. We need to cycle the defender skills and perfumer skill to survive. Gavio would be better for healing our operators, but we need Susuru, otherwise Jaya can't 1v1 on the top. Click is the final deploy in Haze's range, so he can eat the chain. Haze kills it very slowly, about as long as it takes to cast the boss kill, but even that's enough to prevent the chain from capturing more operators. When I was experimenting, I found out that I didn't need to stall the boss at all here. I can just let him move freely, and I can kill everything else in time. But I couldn't find a good way to make use of that operator SWAT, so I just went with the original CN strategy. We cycle the defender skills to avoid any deaths, and once all the basic enemies are dead, we let the boss walk around. May is still in the cell, we'll get her out in a bit. Here's a useful trick with Myrtle. You can retreat her and deploy her again every time the boss chains her. That gives her her starting SP back, so she generates DP faster this way. Susuru is on the left side, so she can heal our tank for the boss and heal the things that are coming on the left lane. May is there for the wisps that spawn in the second phase. The whips have an AoE of the size of around Asia S3 and they're basically untankable. If they hit anything, they will murder you. Although it is arts damage, so you can probably negate them with Nightingale. Not an option for me though. Once the boss is dead, we retreat everything in range. If you have anything in that circle, he walks them up. Best avoid it. Now Bubble has to be deployed next, because we're going to make use of the taunt. If you don't have a taunt operator, it's not a big deal. This is just relevant to my strategy. We time every skill, so we get the maximum damage possible when there's an attack already in the air. When you get the boss under 50%, the small spawn that comes out in phase 2 disappears and the boss gets healed, and he enters his third phase. We can't deal with the spawn, that's why we're doing it like this. You can also kill the spawn, but then the boss has more health, so there's no point. That's the reason I let the boss swoop around, so he's closer to the blue box than his spawn and has a higher target priority. We deploy Utage, use Bubble S2 to deflect attacks from Utage, because the AoE would kill us. The fireball hit May, it did a bit of damage, and that was enough to kill with the explosion itself. Or the hit from the boss rather, this is fine. The boss is now out of range of Bubble, so we deploy Quoro to tank a few hits. When I played this, I didn't know that the fire tiles are actually Ifrit tiles that you can deploy things on. Even if I did know it, it's not much use, because if I aimed it at the boss, it would just hit Haze. We're waiting for the boss to spawn his charge. Once he does, we deploy Shaw out of range of the fire tiles. We retreat Pudenku and drop Perfumer to keep Shaw alive. This is the only tile where the explosion can safely hit. If it was slightly to the right, it would kill Click. The boss is dead, and now comes the final check. This random trash mob. It's a bit of an elite, and they don't have Pudenku to remove its res. Haze is off skill, so we drop everybody on it to try and stall it. In the meantime, Shaw is towing the top 2 blades. You can do this with any pusher, it's a really efficient way to deal with them. Because they attack fast, but they walk slowly, so this reduces their DPS by a ton. They're not even all that heavy, as you can see. Though I wouldn't recommend trying with DS2, because they go invisible. You'd need something to reveal them. We keep throwing bodies to stall this guy as much as possible. I decided not to deploy Mei because she wouldn't be ready in time. We'll go for Pudenku the moment Quora dies. If I knew you had an Ifrit tile, I could use it to apply the art stress debuff and kill it that way. I just never noticed it. Those red things can fire a Ifrit attack that reduces enemy. Oh, it doesn't reduce the RS, it gives them art's fragility. And that's everything dealt with. We now just stall the final wave forever and clean everything up. I'll give S3 a few tries as well, with buffs, because it's for sure impossible without buffs, but I'll do that next week. According to Thumbs, we gain extra buffs next week, that are better than the ones we currently have. So I'll leave it alone until then. The training stages did look interesting though. We whiff one of them here so show dies, but at this point it's already over. We kill the final one with Jaya, since Jaya would win without Perfumer's healing. There's not any chance of failure. I'll probably make a video explaining the boss mechanics, because there's entirely too much text for people to bother reading it. I know I sure as shit didn't.